general viewing.
Good evening and welcome to the program. This is What's Your Story? My name is Catherine Mwangi. We're here at the Villa Rosa Kempinski. We are grateful to the management for giving us this beautiful business suite to film from. Now, last week, we featured Esther Wagora's part 1 story, and these are some of the highlights to just catch you up on. She got married to the love of her life at 22 years old, much to the chagrin of her mother-in-law. She carried a baby to term to 5 months and lost dominion at 5 months old. She carried a baby to 6 months and had a ruptured pregnancy, and about a year and a half later she carried another child for 6 months and also ruptured that pregnancy.
I was married to a very strong believer. My hubby was a very strong believer who was really encouraging me, because most of the time I was telling, can you do this? Can you get a girl? Marry a girl that your mother will accept. And you know, he kept encouraging me. Yes, I didn't marry you because of kids. I didn't marry you because I just married you because I love you. So as much as I would push him away, he was always there for me.
And so in case you missed the show or you're just catching the part 2 now, just know episode 1 is up on YouTube. And so today we progress from where we left off last week.
And I asked him, where you were, there were no hospitals. No, I was not able to go to the hospital. Because of the pain, I broke down. I left him seated. I went to the bedroom. And he stayed there until morning. So the morning came. I prepared myself. I prepared breakfast. I gave him breakfast. But after taking tea, like half kikombe nusu, he vomited. So looking at him, here I saw him. He has already changed. The eyes were yellow. You know, the way a child with a jaundice look like, that is how he was. And I asked him, Hiya, Kwani, what has been happening? I told him, can you go to the hospital? And I called one of the colleagues who is a very close family member they were working with. I told him, Dongo, can you come, we take so-and-so to the hospital? He told me I won't go. I have an assignment that I'm supposed to do in town together with one of my colleagues. And you know, he insisted. So me, I prepared myself, we left. So when I was leaving, he told me, no, don't leave me, let's go, because I have an assignment to do in town. So we went together, we left each other in town. Me, I went my own business, he went his own. So when evening came, I went home. By then my child had a condition, alikuwa anajikuna sana. There is a name, I will remember the name. And he knew about it. So I found it amejikuna sana. So I said, let me call him. If he's in town, there is a specific medication he was using and he knew it.
Yeah.
Animunulie anilete. So when I called his phone, it was off. So me, I thought maybe because he was used to traveling, going outside to work, maybe they went working, you know, out of Nairobi or network issues or such. And I kept trying that call. At 10, I tried that call, it was off. At 12, it was off. So I decided to call the colleague that they were working with because I knew him.
Yeah.
So when I called him, you know, he was in shock. He told me, no, Mama Njeri. We left each other with Masai at around 10. Akashindwa kufanya kazi, akaniambia ameenda nyumbani. So it was like, what happened to him? And you know, he was very weak, very weak. So I got worried. I called the father-in-law. I told him the story. So-and-so came yesterday, the way he came and the way we left each other. And the way his phone is off. And the dad told me, let's keep trying him. Whoever will be able to reach him out, we inform each other. But something in me, I felt something is not right. So that morning, very early in the morning, I called the dad. Kamuliza, have you been able to reach out to so-and-so? No. I called the uncle. He told me the same thing. So me, I just prepared myself and I left for work.
Yeah.
But around 10, I received a call from the uncle. I remember I had gone to see a certain client at Gikomba. He told me, hi, Esther, I have tried his phone and I have received a message. No, I will call you back. I told uncle then, well and good, if he's safe, that is my prayer. And I went on with my business. But I think after half an hour, I received a call again from the uncle. Mind you, this morning I informed the father-in-law and, followed up whether he was able to reach out to him. He told me no. So after half an hour or so, I again received a call from the uncle. The uncle told me in Kikuyu, Esther, well, he said in Kikuyu, Negi mo kulia. Esther, ni kukula utakula. And I asked my uncle, why? Because so and so, amelala kwa mama ake. It was so painful to me. Bearing in mind, I called the father. I informed the father the previous night. That morning, I had called him. And mind you, the son traveled the same day. They were with him. It was so painful, but I told God, then God, if he's okay, God, I give you the glory. But it really injured me. I didn't take long. I received a call from the mother. So I looked at it. We were with that client who is a very close friend of mine up to date. I told Angela, it is the mother calling. Angela told me, just pick that call. I resisted. She insisted, pick that call. And after picking that call, that is what really broke my heart completely.
What did she say?
The mother threw every name to me and she said, Esther. In fact, she didn't call me Esther, she called me Mama Jerry. Mama Jerry, why do you want to kill my son? My son came here yesterday. I tried to figure out whether it is the same person that I knew. What did you do to my son? Why do you want to kill my son? I asked Mom, me killing your son? Do you know the last time when I saw your son last? I only saw your son yesterday. No, my son is swollen all over, he's yellow all over, and there is nothing that can make someone, turn yellowish. It is only poison that can make somebody look like this. Why are you giving my son poison? Why do you want to kill my son? And she uttered very bitter words. And she told me now going forward, she will take care of the son. They will take him to the hospital. He has uncles that can take him to South Africa. He will make sure he cooks for him until he is okay. And I told Mom, those words are too painful for me. I only saw your son yesterday. I pushed him to go to the hospital. He refused. I have been looking for him the whole night. I have even contacted my dad, who never told me that your son is with you. But anyway, I leave everything to God. After 2 days, remember we were taking supper around 8. We had a knock. So back in my mind, I could not think it can be him. When I went to open the door, the person that I saw is him. It was so painful. I remember nilishika mlango hivi. I don't want him to come in. The kids come rushing. Kwao ni the dad. I was left in a status of, do I allow him to come in? These are the kids. The guy is so weak, terribly weak. I started crying. Kaingia kwa nyumba, he sat down. I didn't say anything, but I cried the whole night. The whole night. So when morning came, the guy was so weak that, he had swollen all over. From the legs, face, hands, everywhere was yellow. So I called this colleague who is a family friend to us. And I asked him, where are you so and so? Luckily he was in town. I told him to come. By then, I didn't have a car. He had a car, Yakazi, but when they dropped him, they went with the car. So I told this colleague to come, we take him to the hospital. And indeed, he came. We took him to the hospital that they were going as a company around Gong Road. So when we went there, the same doctor who was used to seeing him in a normal checkup could look at him and was like, no, Masai, what happened to you? By then he's very weak. He could not eat anything. Even walking was a struggle. So after he was examined, they took whatever they wanted. The doctor said, we have to admit him. So do this, go to imaging, I need this test, I need this test, I need this test. So when it came, they said they wanted to do a surgery. They did a surgery, not an open surgery, how does it, laparoscopy. The one that you will be taken through, but there is nowhere utakatakatwa, where they use the machines. And now after that surgery, plus the report, that is when I was told, your husband has cancer, pancreatic cancer, stage 4. That is why all this is happening, jaundice, swelling and everything. The uncle who had stood with me all this long came. I remember he asked him very, very hard question when he was in hospital bed. And he asked me, so and so, I'll ask you this question because it is not me who has power to keep somebody alive or, I won't make you die or live. Where is so and so? Where is the lady that has made Esther suffer all this much? I can't believe it is Esther I'm finding with you here. I expected so and so to be here, not her. That is when he started crying, and I remember that is when he gave his life back to Christ at Nairobi Hospital. And it was very, very painful to me. That day I went home and I was in pain, totally pain, because one, when people knew that so and so is back in that status, my friends kept off because they knew what he had taken me through. My family kept off because they could not comprehend totally that it is the same person you're taking care of. So they kept off completely. I remember that day when I went home, I was in pain, a lot of pain. I didn't have even a house girl. I had a very good landlord who was taking my kids from school wanakaa na hao until I come. I was really struggling to make ends meet. And the same person who is supposed to be there earning very good money, we never saw anything from him. I remember I knelt in my couch and I prayed and I told God, God, on my own, I cannot be able to take care of this man. He has taken me through a lot. He has taken us through a lot. God, how can I be able to take care of him? And I always tell to people, never, never joke with the vows that we take. It is then I started hearing the voices in my ears. The vows came. I heard the vows. I heard the vows until I asked God. I was so bitter with God. So bitter with him. And I asked God, why are you bringing those, the vows in my ears? What, they really came. I could hear them, the vows that I was taking. It was so painful and I was so bitter with God. And after that, I knelt down and I told God, indeed, for me to honor those vows, I cannot be able on my own. Give me grace, give me strength to honor them to the end. And indeed, God is a faithful God. He gave me the grace. After 1.5 months, he was discharged, he went home. And I remember the insurance cover, it elapsed to Kiwa Nairobi Hospital. So when we went home, he could not go back to work because, the condition he was in. Cancer is not a good disease. And for the next 4 months, he became a very good, the health came back and he became very stable. And it is like I had hope that everything is well.
Okay.
But after 4 months again, his health changed completely. I remember that time now, I took him now to Aga Khan Hospital. My life changed completely. It was hospital work. Hospital work, because after 2 days, he's back kutolewa maji. After 2 weeks, he's back for chemo. And every chemo session, I was spending over 21,000. Mind you now, I had to borrow even loans. We had to sell some of the assets. I was left with this man all alone, something that really drains someone psychologically, emotionally, financially, call it everything. And I remember for 2 years, 4 months, I walked that journey alone. It reached a point, he realized, indeed I am going. And I remember sometime when we were in the sitting room, he would look at the kids, unamuliza Johnson, nini? Anajifunikia anaanza kulia. So definitely it is what is in his mind. When that doctor called me. He told me, on his face, you're the next of kin, yes. Talk to your hubby, because if he has to leave long, he has like 6 hours to leave. And indeed, I think the following day, when we went in the morning, we didn't find him. God rested him around 5 a.m. in the morning after walking a very painful journey of 2 years, 4 months.
So when you got the news that he had passed on, what did that feel like?
It really hit me because I think I was not prepared for his death. I was, in me, I felt God can do a miracle.
You wanted him to leave?
Yes, at some point I would even tell God, can you heal this man? Even if we won't reconcile, he lives his own life, I live my own life, such that if the kids want to go and see him, they can go and see the dad. So in me, despite his condition, I was not prepared for death. I remember even my bishop later, they were really talking, and it's like, Esther, we were looking at you and we were like, hey, we could see him going, but you are very, very confident he is leaving. So it was not easy for me, and I remember the words that I asked, what will I tell the children?
What did you tell them?
Nothing. I think we came to discuss about him like 2 years ago. I didn't know what to tell them because they were also very small. They were young even to comprehend about death. And I remember even after, now, we started another moment of preparing the funeral and what have you. I remember that very day when we were going to arrest him because my kids were very small. When we were viewing the body, because he was at Chiromo, my sister brought my kids to see the dad. And pale kwa coffin, that part that has a grass, my daughter was like, he felt like it's like a horror thing. So she would try to, she thought it is, she can push her hand and raise the dad. And my son was there shouting, Dad, amka, until everybody left. They were left.
When was his death? Which year?
2015, January 27, that is when he rested. We rested him in Nakuru, and I can tell you, I saw his family. My family, apart from my 2 sisters, the friends, niliwaona kwa mazishi. So all this time I was left alone with him. And we rested him. I remember even during the burial, the mother didn't, there were a lot of pastors because by then, before things happened, my hubby had really served. So there were a lot of pastors in the burial. And I remember during the photo session, she was called for a photo session. She didn't. They tried to call him, come, we take up. She didn't.
The mom now?
The mom, yeah. And I remember even when we were going to the graveside now, he never came near the graveside. Hakurushi hata mtoto wake mchanga. I understand, aliachwa na huko nyuma na wamama, they were just, the friends. To them, it was just normal. They were laughing and doing sort of things. So, na tukamzika, and my status now changed to a widow, and I started another journey.
We'll be coming to that journey right after this commercial break.
Nivea Pearl and Beauty Deodorant. The perfect balance of 48-hour protection and care for soft, smooth, and beautiful underarms. Try our new Pearl and Beauty Black Pearl for smooth and perfumed underarms.
This Christmas, it's magical at Westgate Shopping Mall. Spend 1,000 shillings or more and stand a chance to win a fully paid 7 nights Western Mediterranean cruise holiday. Home furniture worth $500,000 Kenya shillings, or a hot air balloon safari at the Masai Mara. Shop and win at Westgate Shopping Mall. Terms and conditions apply.
Shinda 100,000, yani $100,000.
Changamka leo, changamka cheza loto.
Venye lingia kwanza, ile ya kwanza vile ilikuja, nilifikiria ni mtu ametuma pesa kibahati mbaya. Nikanunulia mtoto wangu baiskeli.
Nasikia raha kabisa, yani tangu juzi silali kabisa.
Guy, hata maneno napotea. Maneno napotea, wala hapo katikati maneno napotea.
Pesa nimepangia kufanya biashara ili iongezeke, biashara ndogo ndogo niinuke tu hivyo.
Nikipewa Probox nitenda nifanye nayo kazi. Hiyo jina sijui kusema kwa Kiswahili ama Kizungu, but inaitwa Olwenda. Unabeba nayo watu, unajaza pale mbele na nyuma, unafanya biashara, unapata mapesa.
Probox nitafanyia biashara kama vile kubeba abiria, kusafirisha vitu za soko.
Hii kitu inakanga kama mchezo, ati unatuma, hakuna kitu unapata, lakini utapata kitu siku moja. Hii kitu unaweza shinda, inaweza kuwa silo ama si kesho, but hii kitu unaweza shinda siku moja.
Over 18s only. Gaming can be addictive. Play responsibly. This message has been approved by the BCLB.
Direct troop, are you ready for war? Troop 1, direct aloe vera. Nyinyi mtasaidia kulainisha ngozi na kupunguza ngozi zake haraka. Correct? Troop 2, direct coolment. Utafanya ngozi relax na ikuwe fresh, okay? Direct spine drop. Wewe utapiga jasho, unasikia? Direct yellow, ukitaniona citronella oil. Upunguze umbu, unasikia?
Kununua Detrex ni kama kununulia ngozi jeshi la ulinzi. Linda ngozi na Detrex, bidhaa bora kutoka Pwani Oil Products Limited.
Kenya not playing in the Cup of World Football. Uko na maoni gani?
Maoni yangu? Sina maoni kabisa. Because we have our own Team Naivas, kikombe kikwetu na kila Mkenya ni mshindi.
Kwa kiwanja ya Naivas tuko na mamilioni za Naivas gift voucher.
Ukinunua na Naivas reward card.
Of course.
TVs to be won from Coca-Cola.
65 inches my friend.
Pia kuna vouchers wakati unapo tap na kupay na Visa card yako.
And special offers for house parties.
Buda, form kejani. Wameenda kwa choo.
Manze mbuzi kibao to be won.
Mbuzi sio mimi, ni huyu.
Mshaanza kushinda.
Team Naivas presents Kikombe Kikwetu at all Naivas Kilocals across the country. Kila Mkenya ni mshindi.
Care Tips, brought to you by Nivea Lumina 630 Anti-Dark Mark Serum. Goodbye dark marks. Hello Lumina Skin. Dark marks are caused by different factors such as sun exposure, skin inflammation such as acne breakout, aging or hormonal imbalance leading to melanin imbalance and appearance of dark marks on the face. To prevent any of these, you need a serum that regulates this hyperpigmentation and also prevents any reappearance, which is none other than Nivea Lumina 630 Anti-Dark Marks. It starts working from day 1 with visible results in just 2 weeks.
There are days when you think, oh, leo na deserve, so order a Glovo. Days when plans inachelewa. What if you order a Glovo? Or days when you can't control everything. Or yes, because on Glovo you can order anything you want. Glovo, you order, we get it.
To soothe irritated and dry skin, Vaseline's healing power is able to penetrate beneath the surface of the skin. This is because Vaseline is made with unique blends of waxes and oils that melt into the spaces between skin cells. This promotes natural moisture regulation to deliver effective skin protection against dryness. Use Vaseline because it is the first step to maintaining natural, healthy-looking skin.
Make me happy when skies are gray. Please don't take my sunshine away.
The Kenya Medical Training College will hold its 91st graduation ceremony on December 1st, 2022 at KMTC Graduation Square, Nairobi from 10 a.m. Join the event on KMTC YouTube channel at KMTC Official.
We have established just what she has been through, and in case you missed the first part, it's up on YouTube. And so far what I can establish for you is her husband came back home after going outside their marriage, and he was unwell, and she took care of him for 2 years, 4 months before he passed on. And we left it off before the break where they buried him, and now she's starting another phase in life, that of a widow.
Very bad title.
It's a bad title. Why do you say that?
It's not an easy one. It's a title that I would never wish anyone to be, because it has its own challenges.
Before you go there, Esther, you never stopped loving him, did you?
No. Yeah. God gave me that grace. Yes. I took care of him to the end. And I always say, I will never kneel before God. Nirudisha the vows that I took. I honored them all to the end. And that is why I talk to people. You know, when you're doing a wedding, you're full of excitement. So sometimes when we take these vows, we take them through excitement. Nobody thinks something might happen. But you know, God made me go through each and every one of it. But one thing I thank God for, I kept my vows to the end. Yeah.
Where did you at that time draw the strength to accept a man that had left?
It is a good question and not an easy one, especially when you don't have a close relationship with God. I always say what really helped me, it is the intimacy that I had with God. And my salvation was not a joke. And I really desired to honor everything that pertains God towards him. So that one kept me going and knowing who God is to me. So I was drawing strength from God, because not from a man. If it was from a man, I think I wouldn't dare. I always tell people, when you get to know God, or when you say, I am born again, just do it when you mean it. And get to have a relationship with God such that you know who God is to you. The way my kids have confidence in me as their mother, that anytime they need anything from me, they know my mom has to provide this. So it is upon me as a mother to know whether I will go borrow, whether I will go take a loan, whether I will do what for me to be able to provide that. That is how I am with God. I have confidence in him that he will never, yes, the pain is too much, but he will never cause me to suffer shame or to be consumed. Yes.
It's been 7.5 years.
Yeah.
Where would you say you are with your healing process?
I always say healing is a process. It is a transition that now someone starts walking in. And it depends with people. Like now, my healing has taken long because I think even before his death, I had gone through a very painful, call it, since I said I do, I never knew what happiness is. I never had joy of my marriage. So I think I was full of wounds, a wound after another. So it became very hard for me to heal very fast. Plus I always say, sometimes the environment you are in, the society sometimes cause widows and also widowers to not to move very fast, because there are many things that happen to a widow. Very many things.
Okay.
You find even the relationship maybe I had with friends that had family, you start becoming a threat to them. There is this notion in the society to a widow that every time I'm seen with your hubby, my interest is in your hubby. And you know what it does to some of us, that, you know, we know who we are. We know our goals. There are times that I would not even want to think of a man. The things that I was dealing with, I could not accommodate anyone who is a man, but the society sees you as a threat. So they cause us to delay in healing. Nobody comes to you know, to embrace you, to tell you, Esther, can you move on? And I always tell people, and I will always address those who are watching, whether you are a widow, you are a single, either by choice or maybe circumstantial, if you can be able to heal within a day, kindly do. So the longer you take, I think now, I think from 2020, that is where I can say I could realize indeed my healing is, you know.
It's still a journey? You're still on a journey?
It is still a journey.
Yeah.
But I cannot tell now, like few years ago, where I was few years ago is where I am today.
No.
Before I could even break down from the word go. You know, to when we will maybe be done with this interview.
Yes.
But at least nowadays I can talk to people, I am well composed, and I can tell people there is hope. I can tell people, if Esther went through this and you are in it, there is God in heaven who can take you through fire. You remain faithful to him, and by the end of it, he gives you victory.
What do you think these experiences have taught you? What have they taught you?
One thing it has taught me is to depend on God. Because if I was depending on people, my family, you know, call it friends, maybe I could be the first person who was buried long time ago. So I always tell people, what it has taught me is to love God more. And it is to have a very close relationship with God.
And have you forgiven your mother-in-law?
Yes, I forgave him long time ago. Long time. But what I really pray is I wouldn't want any relationship that is close, you know, any close relationship. Not even close, because even after that, after the burial, I have never seen them. We have never met with them. And I would like it that way, because, you know, as much as I forgive them, the moment we start interacting, I already have a scar. So the memory will still
be kept alive.
Yes.
So they haven't asked about their grandchildren?
You know, even before his death, even during his sickness, they were nowhere to be found.
No.
I saw them during burial.
Yeah.
So I don't think they could have enough confidence of coming back. They have never even made a call even to know these kids that were left by whoever, are they still there? Are they still surviving?
Yeah.
So that is where we are, and I really thank God.
How old are your kids now?
My daughter is heading 15. My son is around 11.
Do you think you will settle down again?
That is a question that really comes. A few years back, it's a question that I would really not want to think about. But I think after my healing started, I realized I'm still young. And I realized one chapter cannot cause other chapters to be always, you know, a negative chapter or a bad chapter. So yes, I'm ready to move on.
Yeah.
Yes.
What a story. And so when that time comes to move on, because when you said at the last episode how your husband defended you, you know, to his mom and said, this is the woman I want, you know, right when you were really young at 22, and even when you were pushing him away, saying, just go find somebody who can give you children.
I really pushed him.
Yeah, and he said, I'm not going anywhere, I'm here to stay.
Yeah.
And then, you know, his stars begin to shine bright. He moves to Nairobi, gets a job, and somehow along the way the temptation, you know, overcomes him. So the bravery that you have in that desire, which I know God will honor, for you to move on, how do you then, unless obviously God will have to settle it for you, but then how do you, as Esther, given everything you've gone through, mother-in-law, brothers-in-law, sisters-in-law, the church, society, how then do you say and trust and believe that this one will do me well?
It is a very hard question, and sometimes I might not be having an instant answer because, I always say, once bitten, twice shy. Even when that time will come, the only thing I can do is to pray, because sometimes some of these things, they are so hidden to us. But what I will do, I will never enter into a relationship the way I entered in the other relationship.
Yeah.
And I always challenge people who are, preparing to settle down. Because what we do the moment you come across that Mr. Whatever, you are so much excited in this session of loving each other, blah, 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 until you only concentrate on you two.
Yes.
I will challenge people who are settling down. Despite praying for yourselves alone, can you commit that family to God? Can you commit that, mother-in-law, father-in-law, the brothers, and where you are going to? Have time to pray for them. And you know what I thank God for? All these things that I went through, God has birthed a ministry in me. Because from that, I think from 2018, I would hear people say, Esther, if you start talking this thing, you will heal. So I started talking it out, thinking after sharing the way I'm sharing now today, I will heal. But I only realized sometimes I heal, I receive a lot of calls, I receive a lot of messages of people that are getting healed, of many marriages that God is reconciling, only to go home and start crying and bleeding. Until I told God, for me to be able to tell people, you totally heal people who have gone through this, you have to heal me. And He's faithful.
Yes.
From 2020, I can say He has healed me. And out of that, God has birthed a ministry in me, which I launched this year. 27th March, called Healing Hearts Organization Trust.
Okay.
Because I have found myself since 2018 talking to people, marriages coming back, people reconciling, somebody who is in my status wanted to kill himself or herself, somebody who has left the family, going back to the family, until I realized, indeed, God, if this is why you are taking me through this, I give you the glory. You just thank God that despite the pain, God, maybe you had meant Esther will be used to make sure this family is back
preserved.
together.
Yes. So people wanting to reach you, how can they do that?
Yeah. So I will give out my number.
Yes.
0722 827 486 or 0742 056 209.
Okay.
That is the number they can reach me through. Anyone who is going through this and feels, no, I cannot make it. There is somebody who went there through that and overcame. So you don't have a reason to kill yourself. You don't have a reason to close yourself and, cry and do all sort of things. Wake up and trust God. The other thing, maybe you will allow me to say what I do?
Yeah. Yes, please. Lesedi group?
Yes. Lastly, I always say what I do because that is the habit that was left. I mean, that is what has brought me and my children where we are. So I work for Resedi Group. Resedi Group is a real estate company. We deal with homes. We have two companies, Resedi Homes and Resedi Developers.
Okay.
So we help people settle down through owning homes and through selling plots and land.
Yeah.
So if you want to find us, we are located at Thika Bazaar, second floor. If you come there, you say you want to talk to the CEO. We will have a sitting with you. We take coffee together as we grow each other on our future.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
I celebrate your journey, Esther. I mean, I'm really speechless about stories I hear here, but the many phases that you have been through, just how you were completely broken.
Yeah.
And
I never thought I will recover.
Yeah.
But there is God in heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't look like what you have been through.
Sure.
No,
God has
don't.
given me another face. And I can tell you, since He passed on, I have seen God's faithfulness. God has elevated me. And I believe it is because I stood on my ground. I honored His vows. So God has no reason of throwing me away. He has only a reason of elevating me.
Yes.
Because I really kept His word.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I celebrate that, and my prayer for you is that affliction doesn't rise a second time.
Amen, amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
And that your latter years are full of joy.
Amen.
And that you will laugh again.
Amen.
That when we have this conversation again.
Yes. I know I'll be back here. Yes.
Yeah.
God is a faithful God.
Yeah.
And He has a reason why He takes us through the storms, but they're not here to finish us.
Yeah.
So what I can encourage someone who is going through this, storms can be in many ways. Maybe there is somebody there who has lost a hubby the way I lost a hubby. I went there that day and it's like, you see darkness. You don't know how tomorrow will be. You don't know how you will disclose those news to your babies and to your loved ones. There is God in heaven. Sometimes you may not understand why, but when you allow Him, to come through for you, He always does.
Yeah.
So let's allow God, let's trust in Him, and be encouraged that there are other people who have gone through that. Losing children is not an easy thing. From losing miscarriages, then marriage, it is the treasures that you value most. Those are the things that the devil was messing with. Maybe he was looking for me, but because of the relationship that I had with God, God preserved me. May He preserve you also in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
To you watching, thank you so very much. There is hope, hell, high water, tragedy to triumph. I think Esther's story teaches us to just hang in there and to have faith that the sun will shine again, that we shall laugh again, that joy will overflow our hearts again. And we just hang in there and be of support. Let there be kindness on earth. So much violence and darkness going on, but let there just be kindness. Thank you for watching tonight. The show is up on YouTube right after this, and a repeat this coming weekend, Saturday 6 p.m. Take care.
The Wedding Fair by Kempinski is here. Discover the latest wedding trends and fashion from the leading wedding exhibitors. Villa Rosa Kempinski welcomes you to witness an exquisite wedding fair on the 20th of November from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come and experience all the glitz and glam of all things wedding.